Hey guys, welcome back to Young Americans Abroad, your best place for weekly content on young American soccer players playing overseas. My name is Austin Van Churn.
And my name is Patrick Ferret.
And welcome to our show. So, Pat, what a weekend it was for some of our Yas and, on the field and also off the field.
That's right, Austin. Couldn't be happier. I think right now, in this U.S. time of darkness, this was that shining light, the highlight of 2019.
Yeah, it was, definitely good to celebrate multiple things that happened this weekend. And, it feels really good, Pat. It feels kind of foreign.
It does. Yeah, I'm not used to this feeling.
Wow.
And speaking of great moments, Austin, we had a Pulisic in the Premier League, where I'm going to name drop him in this first part. Christian Pulisic was the second American in the Premier League to score a hat trick. So we're going to talk about more of that.
That's right. And it was also decision day for one of our high-profile dual nats. And spoiler alert, it turned out well.
And also, Austin, one of our young Yas seized his moment with a goal in France. So all that and more in this week's exciting episode. So to start off this episode, like I mentioned, we're going to start right with the Pulisic, Austin. Those three amazing goals that Christian Pulisic, that hat trick he was able to get for his first Premier League start with Chelsea in a 4-2 win against Burnley. So we're just kind of going to highlight and go through the recaps quickly for you guys in case you didn't catch that game. I know, Austin, for me, I was in the hotel room before a wedding, watching it by myself and yelling really loudly. So I hope the guests were disturbed.
Hey, man, you got to, support the team. So
Right. Yeah. But yeah, so in the 21st minute, we're going to start with that. Chelsea actually was playing pretty well, and everything was kind of channeling through Pulisic, the dangerous attacking moments. And there's a lot of pressure. Burnley was kind of caught up high off the pitch. They didn't have everyone back, and Pulisic made this very smart, clever, sprint forward to dispossess one of the Burnley players. And there's really at that time only like one or two players back there, and obviously he used that quick agility and burst of speed that we've come to know and love, and accelerate down to the middle of the pitch there. A few of the Burnley players eventually caught up to him, but he had a nice little scissor move, put it the outside of his left foot, and then a nice solid shot that went through the Burnley's defender's legs to the right corner of the goal. And that kind of sealed that first goal for Chelsea and Pulisic. And you could see all that confidence just running through his veins there for that first goal, Austin.
Yeah, you could definitely see that, after he scored, he, took a few seconds to kind of realize what happened, and then, did that slow trot and, went down to the ground screaming in, I guess vindication is maybe the word that comes to mind. So yeah, it was good to see. It was definitely like a therapeutic moment, I would say, or, just a moment where, it was a culmination of everything that he's been working towards over the past few months. And, it's kind of that moment where he, quieted the naysayers and kind of proved, I would say, maybe to Frank Lampard why he should be in the starting lineup. And he wasn't done on the day either, Pat. So
he wasn't. So let's continue with that, Austin, because right before the half, I believe it was, I think it was like the 44th or 45th minute. Yeah, so there was a press, and he kind of found himself in a dangerous position, attacking the defenders there, running to the 18, and actually shifted over to his right foot and had a kind of, a shot on target. It was a little bit of a lucky deflection, but hey, a goal's a goal, and that was number 2 for him. You can see all the Chelsea players were very ecstatic for him. They were playing really well as a team, and so that kind of closed out the half, Austin. And the third goal, so we had one with the left, we had one with the right, and what else could you do, Austin? You went with the header, right? It's the last thing to do to make it a perfect hat trick. So you can see Mason Mount, I think it was in the 56th, 57th minute, was towards the corner, I think on the left side there, and he whipped in a really nice ball. Pulisic made a clever near post run and flicked it on. Doing a little header myself. And
backward header too, almost. Yeah. It had a lot of, quality to it.
Yeah, it really did, Austin. It was, almost like the back of the head flick, and again, redirected it, and yeah, that sealed his hat trick. And you could see, I think it was Tamora and some other players really ecstatic for him. I've been seeing some great Snapchats of him bonding with some of the Chelsea team. And yeah, so that was great for Captain America, Austin. And again, like I mentioned at the beginning, besides Deuce, Clint Dempsey, he is the only other American in the Premier League to do it.
Yeah, I mean, that's good company. Clint Dempsey at his peak was, a very good player in the Premier League and one that, a lot of teams respected. So, yeah, it was cool to see him, equal that record. And like you said, Pat, got the perfect hat trick, left foot, right foot, and header. So, yeah, it was awesome. When I was able to watch the game, I know you said you were watching it before wedding, and you were texting me literally every time he scored. And like when you first texted me, I was like, "Oh, that's awesome!" I put my phone down, and then the next time, and I have like the Foot Mob app, so I heard like a text me again, and I was like, "No, he did not score again." I looked at the phone. Of course, he scored a second goal, and then I saw or heard it again the third time. I was like, "You got to be kidding me!" It
was like a miracle. So, Christmas came early.
Yeah, it was. I was like floored. I was like, "Oh my god, this is awesome!" So yeah, it's great. Like I said before, vindication for Pulisic. He's waited longer. Well, I wouldn't say longer than we thought, but he's had some trying times. Waiting to score that first goal, and like I said, some naysayers, and this goal and performance itself just completely kind of blows a lot of that criticism out of the water. How justly that is. We'll find out in the next few weeks because he'll probably get a lot of playing time. At least in the foreseeable future. So,
that's right.
I think that's great. I think it sets him on a good path. Now he's just got to kind of, he's not going to score a hat trick every game or even probably score every game, but he's just got to continue to help the team, like he says, and be a difference maker whenever he's on the pitch. Play with that confidence he now has, because he's a different player when he plays with confidence. We've seen that at the men's national team level. We've seen that at Dortmund at the end of last year. And, with Chelsea on the day, he had a lot of confidence. So, that's all we need to see from him.
Yeah, Austin, couldn't agree more. Exactly like you said. He's definitely, when he's in form, you could just see, that vindication, all that hard work he's putting in training and proving to everyone and trying to block out the noise with Chelsea and just being that American player with all that media attention, like we mentioned. Great to kind of see him kind of release that fully. And, I think there's many things to come. And I guess I just wanted to point out too, in comparison to, don't want to, again, bring it back to Eden Hazard or Firmino, just some of these examples I was running through is really interesting when they started their careers. And I think we mentioned a little while ago, but Hazard was 21 from Lille, and it took him until October 31st to really make an impact in a game against Man U where he scored. And Firmino as well from Hoffenheim, the first half of the entire Premier League season, he only had 2 goals and wasn't really making a minimal impact. You could see both of their careers from there went up, and there's many more examples. But again, nonetheless, just want to say that really happy for Christian to kind of, again, take his time. And there's so much competition with Hudson-Odoi. Obviously, they're kind of vying for a spot. Mount again as well, but kind of shifted more. They actually look really good together. I forget what formation they were lined up in, but I think it was Mount in the middle and then Pulisic and Willian on the opposite sides. And then it was Tammy Abraham up top. So they were kind of the 3 in the mid there. So that actually seemed to work pretty well. And again, they had those last 2 goals where Pulisic did kind of turn over the ball. And that's something he'll kind of learn as that Burnley defenders closed down really quick in the physicality. And it led to that amazing wonder goal they had. And they did end up still winning 4-2, but they did give up 2 quick goals. But nonetheless, back to what I was saying, the competition for spots is definitely high, and he's got to be on his game. And with I think it's an EFL or FA Cup game, one of those cup games against Man U. I think it'll be while we're posting this video. And then with the Champions League and all those competitions, there's a lot of time for players to rotate in and shine. So this is definitely a good start for Pulisic.
Yeah. I mean, we were just trying to say, like 2 weeks ago, I feel like we were just saying, there's a lot of games for Chelsea to play, so be patient, he'll get his time. And now it looks like, he's good enough to maybe, or, in the graces of Chelsea, like the coaching staff enough where they may not even play him in some of these like the FA Cup game. They may rest him or something like that because he had such a good past few weeks. So it's just interesting to see how quickly things can change in soccer. And it's good to see.
That's why we love the sport.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll throw it back to you, Pat, because I think we'll move on to another player who had an interesting week.
That's right, Austin. Yeah, so you could say very interesting. Start Sergiño Dest to kind of highlight his weekend performance. Started and played the full 90 for Ajax in their 4-0 win against Feyenoord. And Dest's assist was kind of funny. It was a scuffed shot on the right, but I think Van der Beek actually hit the deflection home. And that kind of gave Dest the assist, which is great on paper. And all in all, he looked like he was still in control of that spot and dominated, and the team as a whole did really well in their 4-0 win. And that is 3 assists in 2 league games for Dest, and that leads fullbacks in the Eredivisie, by the way.
Oh, wow. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, fun fact.
Yeah, he's gotten enough minutes. I think he's played over 1,000 minutes already on the season. So, that's a cool stat. But so after that performance over the weekend, Monday came, and Monday was kind of being tabbed as decision day for Sergiño. So Ajax, I believe, was going to be his decision was going to be communicated over Ajax's website or on their Twitter account, one of the two. And Monday morning came.
We were glued to our phones.
Yeah, when I woke up, I checked it, made sure that it wasn't announced yet. And I believe it was around 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time that the decision was announced, and it was announced that Sergiño was going to be representing the USMNT. So
USA,
big decision. Yeah, Pat, I love it. It's just Pat, what were your first thoughts? Obviously, we've gone through kind of the positives and negatives of both sides of the decision over the past few weeks. And what was your first reactions to it?
I was just almost like I had to look at it twice, Austin. I was kind of in that weird state of shock, but also just relieved because that has just been in the back of my mind. I'm sure as you and many fans while working, going out through any day life, and it comes back into my mind like, oh, what is Sergiño Dest thinking right now? Like what's going to happen with the future there? So that was really great to see, Austin. Just my first reaction there. And again, I know you're probably going to get into a little more, but it just seems like with the history he's had with the program, and you could see Greg and Ernie going over there recently, meeting with some of the other youth players in Dest, and having that meeting, I think, with his family there was really exciting to see. So it seems like the hard work really paid off.
Yeah, you raise a good point. For all the crap we kind of give Greg Berhalter for, the past few games we've seen of the USMNT where we haven't played so well. You got to give them credit. They did a good job in this situation. It sounded like they were always in close contact with Sergiño, or at least over the past few months when, the decision was actually becoming more of a reality and something that, Sergiño was going to have to take time to think about. And so at least, they were alert to the situation at hand and, what it could mean for the future of our program going forward. And obviously, you want to keep, Sergiño's one piece of the puzzle to, the success we hope to achieve in the future. So, even if he didn't choose us, I still think we have a bright future and we have some players that are going to be difference makers for us. But the fact that we could get someone who can play in a position of need, at least at the moment, of left back is huge. And a player that's only 18 years old, a player that's made his Champions League debut and is, starting regularly for a team that was in the Champions League final last year. I think, that's pretty big, Pat. It doesn't get much better than that from, a player that has ties to our program and has played in our program for multiple years.
It really does, Austin. Everything you said is just I'm just really looking forward, I guess, to hard to put into words, but just really looking forward to, again, like he mentioned too in his interview, kind of looked at that or watched that the future of the program, and just to
Sergiño's
see how
interview,
he,
right?
yeah,
Okay, yeah.
just to see how he, thinks about this team in the future. And he probably saw, when he was dapping up Christian before he was, angrily yelling after he kind of let Pulisic slip for that assist. But just the future and the young guys around him and the team. And again, it is dark times, but I'm sure that we're saying this as fans on Twitter, but behind the locker room, with their clubs, we don't know the entire situation, how these players maybe are in group chats and, maybe having private meetings or kind of like practices outside of the camp, or, just talking about the future. And I think we're really starting to see some of our young players rise to the occasion, and things could really change, and we'll have some more positive news on social media with the program in the near future.
Yeah, and Rome wasn't built in a day, so
good point.
Definitely take time for not just Sergiño to work himself into this USMNT or just find kind of his niche within the team. Just because right now we don't really have, I feel like we don't really have a cohesive brand yet, as much as Greg Berhalter is trying to push his guys in the group and the philosophy of how we're supposed to be playing. But so my biggest thing too, taking away from this decision, Pat, is just he's not going to be the superstar we all want him to grow into be just yet. So we need to give him some time, be really happy that he chose us, and just be excited about it. It's a good get from us, and it also is cool to see someone who is involved with our team also give us the respect that I feel we deserved in being the ones that kind of gave him the chance from a young age. So my biggest thing is let's give him time to adapt and continue to improve, because I just hate it. I would hate it if he didn't perform super well in this, if we call him up in November and he doesn't perform great and people start getting on him. Like we just got him to commit to our program. Like we need to show him not just respect, but kind of the admiration we have for him and his decision and
right
position he holds. Or
exactly like you said
in our program.
Yeah, it's gonna take time, Austin. So we don't want too many haters to come out.
yeah. I mean, we have a lot of enough things to hate on and rag about. So let's keep Sergiño away from some of that to start off his USMNT career.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, just to be happy. Back to the start of the show, these moments, these small victories that you can see with club performances week in and week out, and then just for these dual Nats, that it's really important, that can pave the way forwards for maybe some others that are going to be deciding in the future. Yeah,
very true. That's a good point. So now we'll head over to a player in Germany who starred yet again for Werder Bremen, and that would be Josh Sargent. So Josh actually picked up an assist in this game, Pat, in Bremen's 2-2 draw with Leverkusen. And Josh picked up the assist on Bremen's second goal. He had a nice ball he received kind of on the right of the box and just really laid it off perfectly to Davy Klaassen, who is, I believe, Bremen's captain this season. And it was just laid right on a platter for him, and he ripped a shot that went in for Bremen's second goal. So this was Josh's fifth consecutive start. So really cool to see him continue to get consistent minutes and also perform with an assist in this game. So Pat, I think that was the biggest takeaway for me in this game. The assist was nice, and the fact that he is continuing to get starts and continuing to find himself, build confidence in the Bundesliga, and it looks like he's really starting to fit in and be that main striker for Bremen, which is the step we wanted him to take at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I think he's hitting those check boxes, Austin, certainly, and impressing the coach and the staff there. And again, just like we've been kind of saying, he's really found his groove recently, and I think this is just only helping him further. So I mean, you just got to continue. It's, again, don't want to say he's gonna, like you said, we're not going to score hat tricks after hat trick for Werder Bremen, but to continue to be an impact and gel with the team. And create a few of those goal scoring chances that they'll get in such a competitive league. That's all you can really ask for in his position, and I think we're going to keep continuing to see him improve both goals and assists. Again, I don't think he's going to be putting up 20, 25 plus, but we can certainly see him make an impact and hold that that starting spot down for this year. That'd be great.
Yeah, and that was I believe he had a goal last week, so he had an assist this week as well. So yeah, again, just continuing to produce while he's on the field. That's the biggest thing. While some of Bremen's strikers are out injured, it's it's all about seizing that opportunity. And I think you could really say that Josh has put himself into the conversation and has kind of supplanted some of those strikers like Nicholas Fulkrug, who was kind of the striker that Florian Kohfeldt said earlier in the season was the starter for the team when healthy. So I think he's making a strong case to be that full-time number one striker. And, Josh is only 19, Pat. So
yeah, we keep forgetting how young he is still.
Yeah, he's one of the youngest, if not the youngest, I want to say, players in the Werder Bremen team, the first team overall. So the fact that he's getting consistent starts now and like we said, producing week after week now. So really exciting, and hopefully there's more to come, Pat. I think there will be.
Yeah, I think you're right as well. But I guess if you wanted to head over to Spain for That's some exciting news with a young Konrad de la Fuente, who also plays on the wings, left wing and right wing, and he just want to highlight his week for Barcelona, Juvenil. So on the 23rd, he actually had two really fantastic goals in a game against a UEFA Youth League game, against Slavia Prague for Barca. So again, he almost had a Gareth Bale-esque goal where he was pushed off the sideline, sprinted around the guy, and made some crafty moves. Did his kind of De La Fuente thing where he did some step overs and slotted it home for the first goal, and the second goal showed off his strength and again a cheeky little move where he was almost being sandwiched by some defenders and kind of rolled the ball, had his foot on the top of the ball and rolled it cleverly through the defenders and turned around, did a little swim move through them and placed it home. So that was really exciting to see. And then also on the 27th, Austin, he had another two goals for Barcelona Juvenil in their 6-0 win against Ebro. And he served as the team's captain as well. So great performances for the 18-year-old in Spain here.
Yeah, it was good to see him get on the score sheet this week. I know, and we can touch on it in a little bit, Pat. This season hasn't been as good for him as I guess we thought it was going to be. He's still playing with Juvenil, which is kind of the U19 side at Barcelona, and that was the team he played with pretty much all of last season. Made a few appearances with Barca B, but wasn't really a regular player for that team. And we thought that this year he might take that next step to Barca B and be up there more than he would be with Juvenil. But unfortunately, that hasn't really been the case this year. But it's good to see him, on the score sheet. And 4 goals in a week is, nothing to laugh at, Pat. That's pretty
no small feat, Austin. You do bring up some good points because I just want to say, well, I still think Konrad's a really great, could be future and still has a really promising young player. It's tough in Barcelona. That's one of the best clubs in the world. And it's tough to say. He is 18, still playing with the U19s, and we want him to be in Barca B's team. But they have, again, that academy is filled with just world-class talents. And again, I don't want to speculate too far in the future, but just want to highlight his contract is up according to Transfer Market, and I think it's June or July of 2020. So that's coming up shortly. At the end of the season here. So we'll see how he does throughout the year. Again, really hope for him to keep putting in great performances. But still, I want to say if he doesn't make it at Barca and he has to go somewhere else, I still think he could be a great, La Liga player for, I'm just thinking of teams like Levante or Getafe or someone in the first division or even a second division team and, have a great career. So again, I'm not saying discounting his Barcelona career at all yet, but just maybe some options to look at. Once he kind of gets, past the U19 phase.
Yeah, and we've seen it with other Barcelona players who haven't really made it. with the first team, there's, a good amount of players who make it at other places or for other teams. That's kind of a hallmark of Barca's academy. They produce players, whether they go to directly to Barcelona's first team or, end up somewhere else. So, Pat, you bring up a good point. I don't think it's out of the realm. And, I don't think it's time to really bail on Konrad's Barca future yet. But, I would say it's worth noting and mentioning that he hasn't taken the next step like we thought he was going to take. But, so that's it for Konrad. Do you have anything else to add, Pat?
Yeah, I think we covered it pretty well. And I know our last exciting topic for Quick Hicks is over in France, right?
That's right. And it's a player that we, identified last year and was one of our young Yas. And that would be Nick Gioacchini, who made his Ligue 2. I'm no French expert.
Yeah, it's like Spanish, right?
Yeah, I was a big Spanish guy. So Ligue 2. I made his Ligue 2 debut for Caen. And he's a striker, 19 years old, was in the DC United Academy, also has Italian heritage and Jamaican ties. So, I guess you could say a tri-nat, and someone that, went over to France, I believe, originally signed with Paris FC like 2 or 3 years ago, played there for a period of time, and then signed with Caen. I believe it was last year, like last spring or something. And, was, a player that played for the U19 team last season and then got promoted to their second team this year. There was whispers of him training with the first team, from time to time. And this weekend, he finally was in the first team, started for them and scored their very first goal of the game. So, that's a pretty big deal, Pat. Anytime you see an American getting playing time in France, it's kind of a rare thing. So definitely something to, someone to watch and kind of gather some more data on. Wouldn't you say, Pat?
Yeah, completely agree. And I know we were talking a little bit off camera about this, but that French club has got some great history. And again, I know you brought up a great example, but some of the players in France and even the teams throughout the first and second division that cycle through, there's some really notable clubs, specifically this one, and some other ones that produced really top talents and still have great academies, and players that still compete at a high level and a physically demanding level in the French league, which I know some people do kind of discredit when you compare leagues, but still a top, first and second division, if you want to say. And excited to see how Gioacchini does.
Yeah, and some of the players you mentioned, Pat, or you're alluding to, are players like Rafael Guerrero used to play for Caen, N'Golo Kante back in the day played for Caen. There was one more too. Thomas Lemar played for.
Yep, Lemar.
So definitely some names, not to sneeze at. A team that has produced players in the past, and Nick is now getting minutes for them. So don't want to compare him, I guess, to those players right off the bat. We got to see some more of him. But the goal was not the most pretty goal. He had some nice movement to get open into the box, and the ball came to him from like a cross across the front of the goalkeeper, and he just got a foot to it to direct it home. So Caen ended up winning 4-2 on the day. Wasn't able to really see too many more highlights other than the goal, but I think it's pretty big though, Pat. He's game. It wasn't like he came off the bench.
Right.
He made the bench one or two other times this season, but this was his official debut. So. Caen right now, it's definitely worth noting, are in 16th out of 20 teams in the second league over in France. So, they're not doing so hot right now. So maybe there's some injuries that have led to this opportunity. But hey, he took advantage of his opportunity and scored their goal. So
he did, Austin. And I just wanted to bring up one last point too. Exactly, just kind of what you were talking about. I was looking up quickly. They had, like you said, a nightmare start. They're towards the bottom. Well, they are at the bottom of the table. They're really nearly. And they only have 6 goals in, I think in 11 games. And so to see Gioacchini score and kind of ignite that attack, I think that's really promising.
Yeah, that's good clarity, good research work by you. Yeah, that's pretty impressive then. It's also interesting to see that they scored 4 in one game. So
yeah.
Interesting. Okay. But, yeah, so we'll keep you guys up to date on whether or not Nick becomes kind of a regular for Con. At the very least, he could be someone that looks, or that we look at for the U23 team coming up. It might be kind of short notice now that we're getting close to the pivotal qualifying period in March. But a player like we said, Pat, a player that's playing in France is a player that we should definitely be monitoring. And I think it's exciting to see someone break through in France, because we haven't, other than Tim Weah, there hasn't really been many Americans playing over there.
No, not at all.
Paul is another one that comes to mind, but definitely a league that has some of the best prospects in the world playing in it. So one of the best countries for best young prospects. So with that being said, that's all for this part of our episode. Now let's head over to Quick Kicks.
All right, guys, it's that time of the show. My favorite time, your favorite time, and hopefully Austin's favorite time. It is none other than Quick Kicks.
So you can test Dwayne Miller. It's Altidore over the wall, and that one is in! Josie Altidore from a long way out. The opening goal for the United States.
All right, guys, so to start off Quick Kicks, we're heading over to the championship where Duane Holmes in Derby County unfortunately lost 2-0 to Hull City, and Duane started and played the full 90.
And moving over to Germany, Travian Sousa started, played 90 minutes, and had an assist in Hamburg's U19's 4-0 win. So congrats to him.
Nice, Austin. And some pretty exciting news over in the Eredivisie. Richie Ledezma actually made the bench for PSV in the first team. So unfortunately, we didn't see him make his debut, but we're really excited to be included there. So be on the lookout there, Ja fans.
That's right. Yeah, it was big news over the weekend. And moving over to the Hobros, we have Emmanuel Sabbi, who scored Hobros' lone goal on the day, and also started and played 90 minutes. And then we have Christian Cappis, who came on as a late substitute in that game. So, good to see the Hobros getting on the field together. And, it was good to see Sabbi back on the score sheet. It's been a little while. So, yeah.
That's right. Awesome. Got to see his signature little flip or somersault he does. For his celebration.
Okay.
But heading over again back to the Eredivisie, or Eredivisie, I should say. Alex Mendez played the first 45 minutes, in a 3-1 win for Ajax against the young Ajax against Excelsior.
Nice. And going back to Germany, Taylor Booth came back from injury and then also played this weekend 90 minutes for Bayern's U19s in their 3-2 win over Freiburg's U19s. So good to see him back on the pitch, and should be a big part of the upcoming U20 cycle.
That's right. Exciting for the U20 cycle there. And heading over to the English Championship again, Stoke City and Cameron Carter-Vickers, who started and played the full 90, and they unfortunately lost to Millwall. So rough outing for Stoke so far this campaign.
And going back to Germany, Uly Llanez started and played 90. Didn't have any goals or assists this week, but still Wolfsburg's U19s got the 3-0 win. So congrats to Uly.
Nice. And back to the championship, Austin, where Antonee Robinson and Wigan he went the full 90, but unfortunately they drew 2-2 against Bristol City.
And we want to finish our episode today with yet another young Ya. And today we have another Scottish Yankee, Pat. So really exciting. And that would be Julian Anderson, who's a 17-year-old midfielder, was formerly in the Philadelphia Union Academy, but now is moving over to Rangers over in Glasgow. So, Pat, another American over in Scotland. So definitely one to keep your eye on. And as always, guys, thank you for watching. Make sure you like this video and subscribe down below.
And don't forget to check out our amazing Instagram and Twitter social media platforms. We're always putting out that great quality content for you guys, and especially with all these hat tricks and Dest, officially becoming a U.S. men's national team player. So really exciting content.
Yeah, very true. And yeah, another piece of the puzzle, right, Pat? Another piece we got locked down. So
that's right, Austin. The pieces are starting to come together for something.
It's all coming together because one day we will win the World Cup.